Hi, very good afternoon, it's Dean from Avstar. We're about to relay to you guys the latest magnetic North Pole position for this month. And before we do, guys, we're getting back to that situation again, you know, where nobody wants to help support what we're doing here. And of course, I had a bill yesterday, not yesterday, yeah, it was yesterday. I had a bill from the website provider that I had to pay. And, you know, I'm having to do it all on my own, and it won't carry on like that, you know. So, you know, unless I get some help, I can't keep it going. The website will go first, and then these updates will go second. And you know what, to lose the website will be painful enough, because there's over 5 years now, 6 years worth of data on there, and it's all on there. You know, the archives are on there. You can help yourself at any time to the data that's on there. So to lose it will be to lose something that can't be replaced. Simple as that. And if we lose, you know, the enthusiasm to do the videos on the latest pole position on YouTube, that will be the end. I mean, I have secured my own income, which I had to do simply because we weren't getting enough traction or funding on, you know, what we was doing. And it declined, and I know why it declined, because, you know, people are in a bit of a predicament with cash. But, you know, we're about to see the loss this year, could be this year, of something that can't be replaced. And that's the only magnetic observatory monitoring the magnetic North Pole every month for you guys, and relaying it to you, and relaying it to those that can't afford to. But, you know, to tell me that everyone that takes this information on board can't afford, then, you know, I'm not going to believe that for 5 minutes. You know, there isn't anyone else with a Trimag system out there. And there's not been, to my knowledge, anyone that talks about this subject on YouTube or the internet that has done as much as what I have in this you know, area of science. So, you know, we really need to do something about that. So I'll mention the link at the end of the video, but for now, let's get on with it. So we've done, since the last month of recording, we've done 4.91 miles, which is very, very slightly slower in its progression than what it has been doing constantly now for the last 4 months. So we are starting to see a very, very slight slowdown. So what is the longitude and latitude? So the latitude is 80 degrees, 58 hours, 45 minutes, 60 seconds north, and the longitude is 111 degrees, 25 hours, 0 minutes, 18 seconds east. So if you are making a note of that on your own Google Earths, there's your pin coordinates for it. So I'm going to zoom out. I'll just OK that so it keeps it. We'll get rid of that, and we'll zoom out and just have a look at the progression over the last few months and where it is. I'm going to zoom right out so you can see what's been happening. You can see a little dog leg there that it done recently. But it's not uncommon. You know, it doesn't move in a perfect straight line as it migrates. You can see how close we are to Russia. As we back out further over time, we can see most of the northern hemisphere, and, you know, from the beginning, over 125 years ago, when it first started to migrate. Now, the thing to remember is when it first started to migrate, it was migrating very slow. But since 2016, it has accelerated. And you know what the funny thing is? NOAA stopped providing any information since 2016. And just out of curiosity, I thought I'd ask ChatGPT today what the coordinates was, or the longitude and latitude of the magnetic North Pole was. And it came up with, I think off the top of my head, 160 degrees east by 80 degrees north, which puts it around about 600 miles away from where we are right now. I measured it and I put the coordinates in on Google Earth. Now listen to this. On 2015 was the actual recording, according to NOAA, that they made. From 2015 to 2016, it was a projection or estimate of where it would be. It wasn't an actual measurement. But according to ChatGPT, it's still saying it's there. So, you know, if you calculate 9 years ago, I think if we go back to 2016, you know, it hasn't migrated at all according to ChatGPT. but we know ChatGPT isn't current. It's I think a year or two behind, and of course it had access to information before that, so I think that's why it's using those coordinates. But it has, of course, as you know, migrated a lot further than that since 2016. But the question is, why isn't mainstream organisations like NOAA, the ESA and NASA giving the current in their analysis of this, their longitude and latitudes? Why is that? Is it because it's migrating at an alarming fast rate now? I think that ChatGPT said that it migrates 10 miles a year, and that's a load of rubbish, because, you know, within 2 months it'll cover near enough that distance. So is it they don't want people to panic? I don't know. Is it because they don't know themselves? I don't know. But they reckoned, ChatGPT reckoned that, you know, satellites and aircraft for navigation relied on the magnetic North Pole being accurate. But if, according to ChatGPT, it is still at the position it was in 2016, then, you know, it isn't going to do satellites very good, and it isn't going to do navigation at all, any good at all. One thing that I was going to do over the coming days is just look to see if any other airports have reassigned the runway numbers, because we know they've done it before recently, but I haven't checked to see when the last one was done and what airport it was. So if I do get any information on that, I'll bring it to you. But, you know, in short, guys, that is the magnetic pole shift. It is still migrating, even though this month it has only migrated 4.9 miles as opposed to its average of 5 to 5.1. And there isn't a lot in it either way. But you know, there it is. You know, we'll be back next month with the magnetic North Pole position. I have got to do over the next few days an Earth Alpha at a glance. So we're going to measure the CO2 with our own equipment, background radiation, muon detection here in the UK and in Canada. Big thanks to Kendall for your support over this time. You know, you've been a solid rock here for the observatory and the subscribers. And, you know, I certainly can't thank you enough for your efforts. You know, I wish, you know, there was monies to pay you for what you've done. And what you've done is has been done so professionally. I'd also like to shout out a big thanks to Robert Watkins for his support and effort as well. You know, because if you look in the comment section, you know, he's very up on top of monitoring not just the magnetic North Pole progression, in charting it for us. He also is very renowned in the energy sector. And you know that covers, you know, renewables as well as you know, gas powered and, you know, let's say CO2 powered power generation, and compares the two. So that's your pole shift news for this month, guys. There's a link down there if you want to help support us, or if you want to consider becoming one of our patrons, the link's there as well. The only other thing for me to say is, you know, what I usually do, you take care of your loved ones. And as always, bye for now.